This is Dr. Quinlan with Quinlan Chiropractic Clinic from Coppell, Texas, and you're listening to the Dunham Business Radio Show.
Hi there, this is Lori Dunham with Dunham Business Radio. We won the 2019 Gray Bowl Show of the Year. We also got an award for community service, and I can't thank you enough for all of your support. We are on the next level, and we're going higher, and I can't do it without you, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much, and stay tuned in.
Live from Arlington, Texas, it's the Dunham Business Radio Show. And here's your host, Lori Dunham.
Today's guest is going to give us some great insights about starting up a business. And in today's world, you know, there's a lot of people looking for a side hustle. They're looking for even that side hustle to become a full-time thing. And this gentleman who's with us today he's got the wisdom. He's got the knowledge. He's going to give you some great information to help you get where you want to go. So stay tuned for that. But first, I want to introduce our international co-host and welcome her to the show. Please bring on and welcome Roshini from India.
Hi, Lori. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
How are you all doing?
Oh, fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing good. All good out here.
So
Always looking forward to get onto your show. Always looking forward.
I love having you here. We've got lots of comments, and every time you're on, you know, the audience just loves you. So couldn't be a better partnership.
All because of you. Because you're giving me that chance. You're allowing me to get into it. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm excited, and one day we're going to talk about all the things that you do. But right now, tell them, for those who have not joined before, tell them real quick the current thing that you've got, like your sash. What is that?
Okay, so I am a Miss India finalist under the International Glamour Project 2020. Let me mention the year, of course. So in December 2019, I got selected, and we were supposed to have a finale in May 2020, but as we know, because of the COVID, all the big events have been postponed. So now let's see, hopefully November or December we might have our finale, and then I'll be walking. Yes, that's right. The ramp.
We are claiming you as the winner.
Thank you.
You're our favorite finalist.
Thank you. I know you are always like praying and, you know, sending lots of blessings, so I feel I will.
Absolutely. Yes. So super excited for you. Love to hear that progress as you go forward and go through it. I know that we've mentioned that on the show a couple of times. So everybody's asking, and please let us know when it's time to vote. I don't know if we get a chance to vote, but when that's time, let us know, because the audience is always asking, you know, and they want you to win. They want to see you go to Miami, and I'll be on a plane down there to greet you. So it's exciting.
So the preps are on. Yes, even I'm looking forward.
Very good. Good. Well, let's transition and talk about our guest today. I'm super excited that he's on. And I mean, I guess I just live up here in the super excited realm, right? Because I say it all the time, but I really am. You know, when you're walking in what you're meant to do, and you get to do it with people all day long, every day, it's super exciting.
Totally. Because every guest who comes in, he or she teaches you something which can be with you forever in your life. So yes, even I'm looking forward to listen to him and interact with him.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me share a little bit about who we have tonight. Scott Finkelstein, he is with Action Coach, And he grew up in California, graduated from the University of Hartford, and he started in investment banking. Boy, that's hard to say, not only a hard industry to be in, but it was there that he learned how to build relationships and the importance of hard work. And after 3 decades of leading companies to greater levels of success around the world, he generated over $6 billion in revenue. He left that world and made a decision to bring his expertise into the Austin area, Austin, Texas, using the Action Coach platform. And now he combines his platform with his knowledge and understanding that a business can thrive best when they have a thoughtful and implemented system. And he uses his passion for helping others to create success through wealth, by creating wealth and gaining back control of their business, and more importantly, their life. So please make welcome to the show, my friend, Scott Finkelstein.
Thank you, guys. Great to see you, Lori and Roshini. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to be here, sir.
Oh, I love it. And I'm like you, I'm always up here in the excitement realm. That's just, how else should you live life? No matter what's going on, one thing you can control is how you feel about yourself and the energy you bring to yourself that you can hopefully bring to others as well. So I'm up there with you.
Awesome. Well, great. It was a match made in heaven then, because
there we go.
Because what's that law, right? We have law of gravity and law of magnetism, law of attraction. So here I am on this level, and look who I attract. I attract Scott. So
awesome.
Glad you're here. Now, listen, investment banking, that's a hard world, How in the world did you get started in that and then learn how to develop relationships to a point where people trusted you to help them grow? $6 billion in revenue.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you, everyone says it's a tough world. I loved investment banking, and I was in it for about 9 or 10 years, and everyone goes, weren't you stressed out? I go, I fed off it, It's just I don't know, maybe I was built weird. I have no idea. But I loved it, having, always, even through high school and into college, my degree was in finance. I knew I wanted to get and work on Wall Street. And didn't know what I was going to do. And I got blessed to get a job with a company called Paloma Partners, was a hedge fund in Greenwich, Connecticut, and just really got my MBA and doctorate in so many things there. Just it was a small boutique shop and had some amazing mentors, which really leads to where I am today and why I wanted to be, to give back and just learn how to work hard and smarter, though, and this one gentleman who really took me under his wing, Tony Vendetti, really taught me about relationships, and that, and that trickulates into your life as well. And it's the training I've always done, but he just kind of set me on my path as a mentor, along with some other great ones there as well, that if you can build relationships, you can be successful in all aspects of your life and in any industry. And if you're crazy enough to like the stress of Wall Street, then you can do that too.
Now, I'm a huge proponent of education. I have a bachelor's degree. I started my master's, but I have to tell you that in all my experiences in business, there's never a better teacher than experience itself, going to the business, going through the steps yourself, and having a mentor. That's so important to learn from that person. I think sometimes it's better than education. What are your thoughts? I mean, I know you're a mentor, so that's kind of a softball question, but.
I agree. Someone who, as I have 2 sons, they're 19 and 26, and I tell them all the time, you have to surround yourself, understand who the 5 most important people around you, both in business and then in your personal life. And sometimes it's some of the same, because they're going to be your mentors. They're going to lift you up. They're going to, whoever you want to become next, as you are on your path of growth, you want people who can help get you there, lead you there, and hopefully have been there themselves. So absolutely. I went to college, obviously, because my mom said I had to, and I'm glad I did. But I cared more about the leadership positions I held in college, the internships I was able to get, and the people I could connect with that way. And to your point, I agree. I learned so much more there than I did in a book. And now I'm a lifelong learner, of course, but I love listening to podcasts like you're doing and radio shows where you have experts coming on who can share a story that we can all learn from. And then obviously with YouTube, you can, all the things you can do, and obviously books too. We still have to read, but read books that are going to help me be better as a person, better as a coach, so I can help others as well.
Absolutely. And we talk about building relationships, that's, you'd be surprised, but I have trouble sometimes building relationships with people. I've been doing some inside work, right? Because that's where it starts, right? It always starts on the inside. First, it starts between the 6 inches between your two ears, and then it starts, it goes down into your heart. And so I've been doing some inside thinking, and I found that in the past, my challenges was that I was so excited about what I had to offer, my service, my widget, whatever, that I would basically throw up on people. I would have a sales pitch and it'd be all about me and my product, me. And in the last several years, I've learned that people want to talk about them. And so would you find that would be a common thing, that if you want to build a friendship or a relationship, business relationship, you want to start out talking about that person, not about you?
An action coach, we call it with them. What's in it for me? And we're all inherently, God made us inherently to be sort of selfish, even when we get out of our teenage years. It's what do we want? What's in it for me? So from a business standpoint, that then gets to the next level, and the personal standpoint of communication. And what language do you communicate in? And I love behavioral studies and behavioral science. So I'm actually a DISC certified practitioner, which is one of the many behavioral tests, I guess you would call it, out there. And as I tell people when we talk, as we train on it, communication isn't what I say, it's what you hear.
That's right.
So if you're struggling in a relationship, business or personal, think about what language are you talking in, and how does it connect with their why or their with them, what's in it for me. And that's the beginning. But of course, to your point, it still has to come from your heart. You have to be genuine. Some relationships you probably don't want, so you don't want to even connect to that level. But you want to find people that connect with your purpose in life, and I mean that in business too. I talk to our clients all the time on that. You want to bring in the ideal client that connects with your why, with who you are, your purpose. There has to be some connection. Otherwise, it's going to be a very difficult client relationship. And then we all know that, and the people we've dated and all that in our lives too, and some family members who we love to death, but we're never gonna see eye to eye on, right?
That's exactly right. And I know on the personal side, there's a book that just came to my mind, Dr. Gary Chapman, The 5 Love Languages. Mm-hmm. And so relationships and marriages have been saved by that book because they learn how to speak in the language the other person understands, not about their needs, right? So, if Dr. Chapman is listening, I would love to have him create a book for business, The 5 Love Languages for Business, so that we can, understand each other in the business world.
Sure.
And because it is hard, I think, when you're out there trying to tell everybody about what you've got and not just go right into the sales pitch, and this is kind of some information that I think is helpful to our audience, because they're entrepreneurs, right? There's 98% of our listening audience are entrepreneurs in some way. They either have their own business, they have an idea for a business, or they have a side hustle. And they contact me all the time, I'm having trouble with my sales. How do I do this? And so I'd really like to stay on topic about this for just a little bit longer and talk about when you have a service or a widget that you're trying to get out to the public, there's so many marketing ways to do that, right? I mean, there's commercials, infomercials, ads on Facebook, one-on-one communication, one-on-one across the kitchen table, having Zooms, things like that. But the mindset is really important. As an entrepreneur, as a human, sometimes you just don't want to hear what they have to say. You just want to get out what you want to say. And so many times, the entrepreneurs are sitting there saying, I don't want to hear your story. I don't care what kind of day you had. I just want you to buy my widget so I can pay my rent. How does an entrepreneur overcome that struggle? Because there's internal stresses that are in them that are forcing them to go forward, and it comes across desperate. It comes across, please buy my widget, even though you're, hi, how are you? Right? So if you could, give some mentoring advice to our audience. And when they have that struggle of, I don't want to hear your story, I just want you to buy my stuff.
Sure.
Even if they're genuine and they're sincere, how do they overcome that?
Well, I'm actually going to half a step back. It first comes with, do you have the right product or service that anyone wants? So many times I work with business owners and we're going to create this new product. I go, great. Who's the target audience? Who wants that? Or is it just what you want because you want to sell it? You want to do it. So you have to make sure you're bringing something to market that there's a marketplace for. And sometimes that means you have to make a tweak to what you want, what your passion is, but still staying within that passion circle, if that makes sense. So you have something that people want. Then, to your point, it gets into absolutely, I used to say, I've spent most of my life is on the sales side of all the businesses that I've been in. And myself included, early in my career when I was making 100 phone calls a day and smiling and dialing and all that, desperation, as you said, comes through your voice, whether it's on the phone, Zoom, in person, you name it. And you just have to sometimes, I tell reps, if you can feel that desperation, walk away. You just got to drop the phone, go away, go walk around the block, go get an early lunch, a cup of coffee, whatever it is, so you can come back refreshed. And you said the word that means the most to me and all that, mindset. People ask what sets me apart as a coach, an action coach. We focus on mindset. Typically a 1 hour weekly coaching session with an entrepreneur and a business owner, 40 to 45 minutes can be all on mindset. Because when we do that, then we get rid of all the head trash, as I like to call it, clear the smoke, the fog. And as a business owner, you're an entrepreneur too, Lori. Also, you're like, oh, I just got to press that button and we've just sold 1,000 things. Great, done. And that's it. So you have to go into all those meetings with that clarity. And also with the wanting to learn and see, can I help them? I love reps. I never got mad at reps, and I actually complimented them when they came back and said, I went to that meeting, Lori, and I just didn't see how we could help them. I congratulated them, being in a good position with their current vendor, shook hands, said, here's my card. If anything changes, call me. And that builds, by the way, you know what you get to do then? Ask for a referral, because they appreciate that. So if you come with that mindset of, I'm there to find out what your needs are, in sales, the pain points. And if I have a solution that makes sense at a budget that makes sense, because sometimes some products are cheap, some are luxury, and everywhere in between, then we can talk about, I can connect the dots to you of how I can help you. But it all started with listening and asking questions and asking more questions. As Grandma always said, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason.
Sure.
And that's sales. When you can listen 2/3 of the time and only talk 1/3 or less, then you can show empathy. Then, Roshini, if I do that and just keep asking questions, you're feeling good. Scott cares about me and my struggle as the HR manager, the IT manager, whatever it may be, the business guy. And now you're willing to listen to me because I showed that I do care. And you have to genuinely care.
And
that's how, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, that's how it works. Why I can connect to whatever you're saying is actually, I'm a lean manufacturing consultant and I'm empaneled in the government of India. So we've been coming across all these entrepreneurs who are like, they're always like, on the run, like, even if you go for a meeting, they're like, okay, I don't have time. Like, you need to talk very quickly and finish off with the topic. But one thing I have realized is like the mindset that you're talking about, you need to just sit with them and first understand Because what we know is the entrepreneurs, they always talk about, we know everything. What do you know? We know what we are going through. What do you know? They always have these questions coming up. So in this case, it's so important to first listen to them, understand them, and calm them down. And that's the time, once they do that, I have seen that thing happening, then they start listening to us more calmly and more quietly, because they know we're going to help them out. So that mindset is so important, and listening is so important. I do agree that. Absolutely. I do agree that part. Yeah.
And I'll give the listeners a little technical side of all that too. It's called active listening, and one of the greatest books to listen to is by Chris Voss, who was a lead investigator in the FBI for decades, and it's called Never Split the Difference. And I believe it's chapter 7, and it's minutes. I do it on, it's Audible. You can tell I use this book a lot to train my people. It's about minute 4 through 7.5, and it's about active listening. And he talks about when you go into that meeting, whether it's a meeting, it's a first date, or it's, trying to sell your widget. Don't sit there thinking, okay, what's the next question I'm going to ask Lori? Who cares? If you know what you're doing, or personally you know who you are, the question will come to you. Just listen, because if you listen, the right question will come to you. Sure. And you're not expecting me to throw the question at you right away. I have 5 seconds to think for a little bit of silence, and you'll be fine with that. But if I'm fully actively listening, again, as you said, Roshini, it shows I care. It shows the empathy, because I am truly focused. I'm actually looking at you, my body language, and I'm not just sitting. What's the next? So do you like blue or red? Who cares? Listen.
That is so important. I agree. I can totally relate to that, because we went through that too. Yeah. I understand.
And I think that's one of the really cool things about this show is it's not scripted at all. I've had lots of people reach out and say, hey, I've been confirmed for the show. Can you give me a list of questions? And I don't have any questions.
I didn't get them. Darn it.
I put people at ease by just saying, look, it's a conversation between us, over coffee. Just go get a cup of coffee. We're going to sit and we're just going to help the audience. We're going to give them some nuggets and some wisdom to, make their lives, their business better through our own experience, So when people realize that, they come on and they're, a little more relaxed and it's fun. I mean, and Scott, I guess you can speak to that as to the onboarding to be scheduled for the show. Yeah. If it was a good time, you can talk about it. If it was a bad time, say nothing.
No. No, it was easy. It was great. You and I connected and through Facebook and some other things, and it was, I saw what you're doing. I'm like, I would love to be a part. I became a coach after a 30-year career. Interestingly enough, I had 2 days before I moved to Austin. I was in California the last 11 years. 2 days before I moved to Austin, I had a job. I was actually I was going to go run a company in Utah. And this action coach thing kept just kind of papping me in the head, as I like to say. And finally, I said, no, you know what? I've always wanted to be a coach and all that, but I'm going to go to Austin. And then, my family sat me down that Thursday night before I got my truck on Saturday to drive to what I thought was Utah. I go, why are you going to Utah? This is what you've always wanted to do. Do it now. And I kind of finally looked up. I go, okay, I got it. That was the sledgehammer. And called Utah on Friday morning, said I'm not coming, called Action Coach, said I'm buying the franchise, the territory in Austin, and came to do what I get to do. And that's why when I saw what you're doing, we connected online. I was like, I want to be a part of this. You're helping, you're getting the message out, and I want to be a part of that. I want to, like you said, I love it. You have so many startup and entrepreneurs and some of the outreaches you do of people who, they can't afford to get the help that they need. And that's why I do this. Obviously I do charge some of my clients too, but being on shows like this allows me to be a part of you reaching out. Our whys connect here, and that's awesome.
That is awesome. That is. I want to go back and touch on, talk about something that you mentioned. The folks, when they realize they can't help, right, provide a service to a particular client, you can ask for referrals. Mm-hmm. I had one person come on, I don't know, several months ago, and they were talking about when they asked, okay, so they go through the sales process, they built the the business relationship. You know, they've listened from the heart. They've done active listening, and they've built up that trust. And so after several meetings, now they have the sales presentation, and they go through the whole thing, and they do everything right. And then they realize, you know, it's not a good fit. It's not something I can offer you. It's not something that I can help you do better. What you're doing is fine. It's working. You know, what do you need me for? Right. But when they go and ask for a referral to those people who just say, no, I'm not interested in your product or your widget. I don't see the value of it. I don't want it. Right. Basically, you get a no. And they say, well, I understand, Mr. Customer, it's not for you. I get it. And I appreciate you listening. Would you be willing to provide some referrals so that I can let them know? Well, and then the responses are, well, you know, I didn't like it. So my friends won't like it, or my referrals won't like it. Or they'll say things like, I'll let them know what you do, and if they're interested, I'll have them call you. How do you overcome that challenge of getting referrals when people are so guarded with their contacts, and it might not be for them, but why are they trying to qualify their friends for you?
Sure, great question. I love it.
Referrals.
Great question. You know, most of the time they get that response because they were afraid to ask for the referral. We talked about sometimes you sound desperate on the phone. So your tonality is sounding like, I'm not sure if I really want to ask you for the referral. And that's a lot of reasons how, so it's the mirroring. We're going to get that type of response back. But even if you are confident in how you ask, and they give that, they say, well, I didn't like your product. Now it's an opportunity to continue the conversation until they kick you out, maybe. And just say, well, I appreciate that, Lori. What about, you know, so we can better serve the community. What about our product didn't you like that we could improve on? Now you're, by the way, worst case scenario, hopefully you're going to get some market research to go back to your team and say, hey, we need to improve here. Or maybe as a salesperson, I can improve on my script as well. So keep the dialogue. Hey, can you know, Lori, can you help me for a second, please? Human nature is we want to help. So the most powerful thing you can say, ask someone say to someone is, I need your help. People, what do people do? Oh, they sit up, right? Even in business, even a stranger. Oh, hey, Lori, I need your help. You don't know me. Oh, what? It brings guard down, and they're going to listen for a second. You know, can you explain to me what about our product you didn't like? Oh, well, you know, Now, at some point, listen, yeah, you're going to get the one to say, listen, I don't have time, or I said, no, go away. Okay. Thank you for your time, and walk away. That's okay. But some will give you a little bit, and maybe through that, you can turn it into a sale for them, by the way. Oh, maybe you misunderstood. No, it's not blue, it's red. Oh, I do like red. Can you show that to me again? And I've had that happen. Doesn't happen often. But I don't usually get too many people saying, no, I don't like your product. Why would I refer it? People, one, don't want that confrontation. But give them a way also to make it easy for them to refer it. Hey, Lori, I appreciate we're not the right provider for you, but now you know our product and service, and I know, you know, we're working with other business owners, HR managers, whatever the position is, like you, who you might think our product could be useful for. You know, can you think of anyone we could reach out to and see if we can help them? They might say, well, I don't know. Great. Well, you know, is it okay if I follow up with you in a few days to get a couple of names from you? Now, do you have the guts to be that aggressive? Which I don't think is aggressive.
No, that's not aggressive, right?
Right.
It's all about,
and if they say, well, I'll email it to you. Okay, well, here, you know, at that point, I assume they already have your contact details or you've met with them. But if not, make sure they do. And then follow up in a few days. Hey, Roshini, you know, I just wanted to follow up again. I really appreciate your time on Monday. You mentioned there's probably a couple people you think might use our product. You know, any come to mind I can reach out to?
Sure.
that's great. That's really good. I think it, like you said, it's all about your tone and about your confidence inside. And if you really believe in your widget or your service, then that's going to be confident as well, and be, you know, let them off the hook and just say, you know, this is not for everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
Most people don't, most companies and sales reps, marketing, customer support people don't ask for the referral. They don't. I posted the other day, 91% of people will give a referral, but only about 8% ask.
Oh, wow.
Think about that. Now think about this. Lori, if you liked my services and you're willing to give a referral, do you usually give one or do you give more than one? You know, I tell people with the right referral, and then we coach on this all the time, all our clients, with the right referral system, just from your current client base, we can double and triple your business in the next year. And we can keep doing that, by the way, because we ask for referrals. I love the question. That's how do you ask for that referral?
That's awesome. I think a lot of entrepreneurs just don't know what to say, what that internal script should sound like. So thank you so much. That's a golden nugget, everybody.
Awesome.
True.
So let's talk about objections. And before I get to one particular one that I've heard over and over, is you know, there's a new mindset out there, and maybe it's not new, but something that has come up in our audience, and that is heart service, or service from the heart, or serving, servant leadership, servant, you know, from the heart and not from the head. And so with that, some people have even said to me that, you know, your service needs to be free because you're serving from the heart. And I'm like, I'm not a nonprofit, you know, I'm a business. And just like, you know, McDonald's may have the best cheeseburger in the whole world, and they may want to serve all of the hungry. And they do, they serve hungry people, but they don't do it for free, right? They make a cheeseburger, they expect $1. So how do you approach the marketplace from a servant heart with a mindset to be of service to others, and still justify the cost? And how do you overcome it when people say, you know, I just can't afford that, it's too expensive?
Sure, great question. I think it's the theme of what we've been talking about so far today, is it has to come from the heart, show that you're listening and all that stuff. But to your point, it's business. And by the way, not for profit still makes money, still charges, still needs money.
That's right.
You know, they're bringing money in so they can keep serving more people. You have to charge. I mean, it's that simple, but you can still care. How do you show you care? I show I care because, as we talked earlier, am I willing to walk away from the sale because I don't believe I'm the best widget for you? Or can I just say, hey, Lori, you're in a great place. Congratulations. If anything changes, you know, let us know. We'd love an opportunity to earn your business in the future if you need help. And it's just that. It really is. And as far as if people say you're too expensive, that gets into sales training. You know, I've had people say to me, well, God, how much are you charging me per hour? I go, you're not paying me per hour. You're paying me for my influence and effect on your business or your life, and on the business, there's dollars to it, right? It's your revenue, it's your profit. So if for every dollar you pay me, or more importantly, invest in coaching, and we can show we're going to get you $7 to $10 back, does it matter if it's $1 or 100 or 1,000 or 10,000? So in any widget you're selling, and we work on this all the time with our clients, how are we connecting the ROI, the return on investment up? And when you can do that, you take price out of the equation. Now, I will add the caveat. There's still a good handful of products and services out there that, it's all about price. But 9 out of 10, it's what's the value do I get?
That's really good. Yeah, focus on the value, not the price. Focus on the investment, not the cost.
Yeah.
That's
but how many salespeople go in? We're the cheapest. The last company I worked for before I went, which I was there for about 2 years, and we built them up real fast from like 8 to 20 million in less than 2 years. And I went to the sales manager who was going to be reporting to me. I go, show me the pitch book. What's our proposal book? And the last slide on the PowerPoint said, we will save you 10%. I go, yeah, get rid of that now. Let everyone know that slide's gone. And the whole team, 15 inside salespeople are like, what? I'm like, no, you're not using that. That's your crutch. And we're going to build training so you understand how to sell for 10% more. But right now that crutch is gone. So guess what human nature is? You figure it out.
Right.
That's right. There's a saying, nobody cares what you know until they know how much you care.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And everything we're talking about today keeps coming back to that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Roshini, do you have anything you want to ask Scott?
Oh yeah, I had one question which I had prepared because I went through his bio and the YouTube link that you'd sent. So I have a question related to that. So, okay, so the thing is, like, do you have a common course planned out? Because as the businesses differ, because I saw you train coaches also. So do you have a common course planned out, or how does it work?
So what I loved about Action Coach when I'm one of 1,000 franchise partners throughout 84 countries. Action Coach has been around for over 30 years. Brad Sugars, our founder, is amazing. You'll see him all over the place, YouTube, Facebook, you name it, Instagram. And why he started this, God, I think in his 20s. And because he saw business owners were struggling as a 20-something. And he goes, let's go help them. So, my brother, when I was buying Action Coach, said, you know all this. You've been an executive for 30 years. You've built billions of dollars in business and da-da-da-da. Why this? I go, well, if I go on a show like this every day and you ask me a question, it'll all come out. But to sit with a business owner every day, I didn't have a system and a process that would help guide them step by step so we don't overwhelm them. And that's Action Coach. It's an amazing, and like I said, been doing this for 30 years, building companies throughout the world. Amazing system and process. And then all the learning library behind it from Brad and the entire team, and coaches like myself who will add content that we share with all of our Action Coach community. So yeah, absolutely. It's I won't say it's very defined. I don't want to say that. It's a very defined foundation, but then each business has a different, one of the first meetings we have, even before they become a client, is, what's your goal? Where do you want to get to? And then we go with all the amazing tools we have, we take from that system and build the roadmap for them and build the car we're going to drive together with them to get to where they want to go. Great.
Okay.
Makes sense.
That's awesome. That's a great question.
Great question.
Yeah, great question. And so I hope that you're in our audience. I appreciate you joining, and I hope that you're finding a lot of value in today's guest and in our conversation. I encourage you to drop some questions into the box, and hopefully Scott will be able to answer those for you. And if we don't get to him by the end of the show, he's going to monitor the question box over the next couple of days. So don't worry. He's going to be around to kind of engage with you and answer your questions. But go ahead. We still got time. Ping your friends. Share this video. Start a watch party. Put your questions in, and don't miss out. Scott is here on our dime, so we want to use him as much as we possibly can. And there's been so many wonderful things that he has talked about, and it's been great. And what's really great in my perspective of this is that through the year and a half that we've been doing this show, you guys have always submitted your questions and comments, either through the question box during the show, or you send follow-up emails, which I then forward back out to the guest. And it's kind of, today is like the culmination of all those inquiries, all those questions that you've asked as business owners in every type of business model. And I think everything that Scott's talking about today, it could apply to whether you're an agent, a consultant, an entrepreneur that's a one-person shop or two-person shop. If you're a retail store, if you're in franchise, if you're MLM, if you're in an affiliate, if you're just online marketer. I mean, all of these business models can fit into today's conversation. And so I really encourage you, if you haven't heard the first half, go back, listen to the first half, because Action Coach and Scott, they're here for a perfect time, right? For a perfect time is this. So please ping your friends, put your questions in the box, send an email to us. Let us know how we can help you, because that's why we're here. We're here to give you a voice, and we want to help move your company to the next level. And with partnerships like with Scott is how you're going to do it. And so, Scott, let's talk a little bit about the current condition of business, right? There's a lot of things going on in the world. You know, a lot of people have lost their jobs. And so some people are looking for side hustles just to pay their bills, to get back on track financially until they find a job. And then other people are saying, you know what, I've been doing a side hustle the whole time I was working for the company. And now that company has dumped me, you know, for whatever reasons, right? And so now I want to take my side hustle and I want to improve it. What are some insights you can give just regarding a side hustle?
Sure. Well, the great thing about uncertainty in tough economic times is that's usually when the next level of millionaires and billionaires are created, because there is opportunity out there. And if you can create the best side hustle, which is a side hustle, and if you have a job, don't quit it. Do it on the side and let it build up so it can replace that income. That's the first set of advice. If you can do your side hustle while still getting paid by someone else, then you can build it and take some of the risk out of just completely going to it. Now, during this, what's going on with COVID and everything, some people were forced into the side hustle. So, all right, maybe it's an opportunity. Maybe it's God telling you it's time to go do this. So, you know, find the confidence to go do it. And there's amazing resources out there. Obviously, there are coaches like myself who are here, and we do some pro bono work as well as people get into paid programs. But there's amazing organizations out there like SCORE here, which is global national. Now I'm a mentor with them, and some other ones here in Texas. So there's a lot of free resources out there. You just got to do the work. And then number one, if you're going to do this, what's your plan? Did you write it down? Have you gone to the mentors? We talked earlier in the beginning. I shared, you know, one of my great mentors who've got me to where I am in my career. And I still have mentors to this day. They change as we change in our needs. I have a coach I actually pay for every week, because while I can coach you, I need someone to coach me to get my head out of my butt, as he likes to say, so he can put his foot up it. But yeah, I
didn't know we were talking about anatomy on this show.
Yes. So, but have a plan, whatever you're doing in your business. And even if your business has been around for 50 years, do you have a written plan? Do you have a 90-day plan? Do you have a 1-year plan, a 3-year plan? And with all our clients, what's your exit strategy? Like, well, I'm just getting started. Great. What's your exit strategy? Because that's where we're driving to. It might be 50 years away. Maybe it's only 5. I don't know. But that's what we're driving to. So have a plan. Because if you just go out there trying to sell things without a plan, you know, one of my favorite quotes, which I put on a lot of documents, for Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland. If you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there.
That's so true. Wow, that's very true.
Right.
Yeah.
Roshini, anything you want to ask?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
But yeah,
if
something comes in. No, not at the moment. If something comes in, I will.
I thought you had your hand up. Sorry about that. Okay.
No.
Okay, so excuse me. So Scott, let's tell everybody if they want to work with you or your program with Action Coach, how can they reach you? What's the best way to get enrolled in your programs?
Awesome. Great question. So a couple ways. Obviously, they can just email me, which is Scott F as in Frank, SCOTTF as in Frank, at actioncoach.com. Or you can just go to my website. It's WeBelieveInGrowth.com. That's WeBelieveInGrowth.com. And go to the coach's calendar and click on a 30-minute complimentary coaching session. Let's just have a conversation. Let's see if coaching makes sense. And if it does, next step is typically we'll do what we call a 90-minute business strategy session. And nowadays it's a pivot strategy session with everything that's been going on. And we'll work with you, and this is complimentary. What are your goals personally, professionally? What are 2 challenges we need to overcome and strategies that we can implement today? What are some sales and marketing strategies? And we can get a lot of that in 90 minutes. And then at the end, the only thing we ask if you do that is at the end, you make a decision. Will you either do it yourself or go into one of our coaching programs? That's the only thing we ask. And there's a couple, if you sign up for that, there's a little bit of prep work, just like you gave me some prep work, so I was ready, so that they're ready for that call. And also my team was going to do a bunch of research behind the scenes so that we've got some strategies ready to share with them as well. So
That's
just go to the website, webelieveIngrowth.com, and get on my calendar.
We believe in growth, and I'm right there with you. So that's awesome.
So now I have a question.
Yeah, okay, jump in.
Okay, so the question is, so do you do the hand holding to the entrepreneurs or everybody in their company? How does it work?
That's a great question, actually. It depends. It depends on the program they go into. So typically our weekly coaching sessions, if they go into a weekly program, is with the owner or the CEO for larger companies, and we do companies of all sizes.
Okay.
And then, but part of a program they can bring in is where we can come in once a quarter to do sales training, customer support training. We talked earlier about communication. We have a whole day course on communication. So it depends. And they might split that up in some different things. We have some larger corporations who'll bring us in to do strategic planning. We can do it prior to COVID, we might do a 2-day offsite. So it really depends on, again, we're going to customize the program to their needs and where they're trying to get to. Great question.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
No, that's a really good question. Now, do you, you said companies of all sizes. So do you help single entrepreneurs all the way up to companies 500 employees or more?
Absolutely. Our sweet spot is probably, you think about 5 to 50 employees. But we absolutely work with startups and entrepreneurs. We've got, this week we've got a workshop we're doing, and all those are free. We always have free workshops. We try to do at least two a month, and it's online. And we have, like I said, larger companies that we can build leadership programs. How do we build your next level of leaders? And those can be companies that have 100, 500, 5,000 team members, not employees, team members.
That's awesome. And so do you do businesses in the United States, or do you work in other countries as well?
Technically, I can work in other countries, but all my clients are here in the U.S. so far.
Okay.
But if we have someone in another country, like I said, we're in over 84 countries. I'm more than happy, especially when you start getting really across time zones. It sometimes doesn't make sense, but I've got great coaches in whatever the country is that I'll refer you to. I want to make sure, again, I went into this to help people, not to make money.
So there's some, we have listeners in 10 different countries. And so sometimes we have business owners, like in India, for example, and they want to start a business in the United States. That's good for us because it stimulates our economy. It's good for them because they get to expand into a very lucrative market here in the U.S. Are there coaches available in your program that help them come over to the U.S. and kind of guide them how to get started over here?
So in how to structure the business, yes, but if you want to get into what are the regulatory rules for an organization, what state licensing do I have to do, that's not something we get into. We can be a sounding board. Obviously, I created my own company to buy the franchise, so I have some experience there, of course, in my corporate career, but we can definitely, through my network, find someone who can help them set up the entity here in the U.S. and recommend people. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest struggles so far when we hear from Germany, we've heard from Germany, Morocco, India. There might be some others, but it's more of an import-export question. They have a widget that they create, and how in the world they get it over here. We can't sell it on Amazon because they don't ship to those countries.
Yeah.
And so how do you do international marketing? And that might be out of the scope of this conversation, but those are some of the new questions coming into the mailbox, from our audience. Now that we've gone out internationally, they want to do business here. And how do we do it? The internet's worldwide, so why can't sales be worldwide?
Absolutely. It's a global economy. And if you want, even a lot of our clients we coach, how do we sell your widget in another country? There's so much you can do. I mean, obviously a restaurant, you're not doing that, but a service you can, an online product, all that stuff. So yeah. Great.
So it's the physical product. We need to find a import-export expert to come on the show.
Yep.
And talk about the regulations about bringing product in or doing those international sales. So that's something we need over here.
There we go.
For our audience.
The next guest.
Yeah, that's the next guest. So if you know somebody in the audience if you're listening and you know somebody that can help us with that, answer those questions, this is your invitation. Please ask them to send an email. And if you personally want to be on the show, send an email to DunhamBusinessRadio@gmail.com. And you want to fast track that, then just include your picture, your bio, your company logo, and your personal cell phone. And we'll get in touch and we'll put you on the calendar. We are booking and scheduling heavily right now. So we've got some major announcements coming up in the very near future. So you want to stay connected with us, and you want to be a guest on the show, because it's more than just this platform. So I won't spill the beans, but Roshini knows what I'm talking about.
Yes.
She's part of our staff, so she knows the inside scoop of everything going on in my head.
Awesome.
So you want to stay connected with us, and you want to get more and more people involved in our show, because we're going to the next level. When we won that award, we promised that we were going to go to the next level, and this is it. So stay tuned, because the announcement will be coming very soon. So Scott, one more time, let everybody know how they can reach you, and maybe just give a final nugget of wisdom to our audience, entrepreneurial audience.
This has been awesome. And Roshini, you'll get my vote once I get the link. You absolutely will get my vot.
Surely. Thank you.
And I'll
so
make
much,
sure others do too. And Lori, what you do is amazing. Thank you. Email us Scott F, SCOTTF as in Frank, @actioncoach.com, or just go to the website, webelieveingrowth.com, and go to the coach's calendar. And obviously my email and all the phone numbers are on there too, but go to the calendar and just book a complimentary session. So everyone needs a coach. Like I said, I'm a coach. Sometimes I have 2 people I pay every month to be my coach. So whoever it is, find the right person for you, especially in the way the things are going in an uncertain world and economy these days. It's crazy to think you should be doing this by yourself. So find the coach that makes sense for you, whoever it is. Look in your own network of mentors who can help you, and lean on them. People want to help your success. So the help is out there. You just got to reach out.
Awesome.
Great.
Awesome. Well, everybody, thank you so much for staying with us and connecting with us on the show. Once again, if you'd like to be a guest on the Dunham Business Radio show, just send an email to DunhamBusinessRadio@gmail.com. Please like our page and connect with us on Facebook. We'd love to help you, and put your comments in the box. Scott is going to be monitoring over the next couple of days.
Absolutely.
He would love to engage with you and stay connected. And so that's going to wrap it up for this week. So until next time, stay on top of the world, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the Dunham Business Radio Show. Be sure to follow us at Dunham Business Radio and check out DunhamBusinessRadio.com for more info.
I'm on top of the world now.